It's time to bear down. Mike Berman is here to bring you the best of the Bears.
There's a Berman.
Where?
On the Bears.
Oh. Every hit, every touchdown, every Monday. Berman on the Bears. Brought to you by the Berman Auto Group on the Big 89 WLS.
It's our pal Mike Berman from NBC5 on the Chicago Bears. Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Good morning, gang. Boy, that open is so official. I think I'd better try this year.
Yeah. Seems like
you're
a good
back,
idea.
Mike.
Glad you're here. Thanks for doing this. And we have no idea what this team is, do we?
Isn't that the case every Bears season?
Seems like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know this. And it's not saying much, but they're going to be better than last year. Again, very low bar. I think they made some solid additions in the offseason. DJ Moore, a top-flight wide receiver. They were terrible at wide receiver last year. They got a really good one. I liked the pick of Darnell Wright, the right tackle, another guy to protect Justin Fields because that offensive line was a disaster last year, and I think it's improved. I like what they've done defensively at linebacker with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. But all that being said, still major questions. Can they get to the passer? Can they rush the passer? They were worst in the league last year in sacks. They didn't really address it this year. And they don't have a lead running back. It's going to be running back by committee. So, who emerges there? How do they do churning out yards on the ground? Do they kind of take some of the burden off of Justin Fields as a rusher? All questions to be answered starting mañana when they report for camp, and then first practice Wednesday.
And it seems like the story of the day is that Chase Claypool not showing up for practice tomorrow because of a soft tissue injury. Will he play? You think he'll be ready to play this season?
I tell you what, Chase Claypool has not done a lot to take up residence inside Bears fans' hearts because he came over last year. Bears traded a second-round pick, which turned into the first pick in the second round for him, and the production wasn't there. There were injuries, and now here he is starting camp on the physically unable to perform list. Hopefully that's not anything that really lingers because the Bears need him. They need him to kind of fulfill the potential that he had coming out of Notre Dame and obviously live up to the standards of a guy who they traded an important second-round pick for.
Is that the commercials I see all the time for men, the physically unable to perform? Is that different than the NFL's? That's different? It's different. Okay.
Well, they haven't disclosed his injury specifically, so I'm not sure.
All right. So, look, we have a quarterback who there's rumors that may have a bit of an ego problem. I want my quarterback to believe he's the best, but is he going to be a locker room issue?
And can he fire up the team?
Absolutely no locker room issue. I think they love him. And you're right, Steve. Don't you want a guy who's kind of irrationally confident?
100%.
At playing quarterback? Because regardless of what's around him and regardless of how the game's going, he's got to be the guy that every time he huddles everyone up ahead of a play, he makes them believe. And I think Fields has steadily grown into that role. We heard all offseason about how he's become more of a vocal leader, more of a take charge guy. And I think those are important things for a starting quarterback. Now, in the end, it's going to come down to, does the line give him some time so he can get back there and pass? And how much has he improved with his footwork, with his mechanics, and with diagnosing defenses? Because everything in the NFL happens in split seconds after that ball is snapped. So, decisions need to be made in a hurry, and that's where he has to get better. He has to get better diagnosing defenses, making decisions, fitting balls into tight windows, and being an overall better passer. So that was the big question mark about Fields in the offseason. We're going to start to find out here in camp, but not really until game action begins how much he's improved there. But I think to your guys' first question, yes, he's a guy who fires up the team. He's a guy who makes them believe, and I don't think there's any issues with him in the locker room. I think they love him.
Okay, I hope so. So over the weekend, it might be a little bit early, but we sat around the table, my husband and a couple of friends. We went through the wins and losses. What do we think the record's going to be? It might be too soon, but I just want to ask you guys.
What'd you come up with?
I said they're going
to.
I said 8 and 9. So they're going to win 8, lose 9, and
When did they finish that last year? How many did they win last year? 6?
3 wins. 3 wins, Steve.
Oh, so they had 3?
Jeez. 8's a lot then.
3 and 14, 8 is a lot. I've not looked at the schedule.
But they say it's an easy schedule. They say it's easy.
It's always an easier schedule when you finish in last place because you're paired with last place teams. It's interesting. Okay, the Vegas over-under is 7.5. So to me, that feels like a really good number because I think they're improved. I think, Jane, it is an easier schedule. And that's kind of where I'm having trouble deciding. Is it going to be 7? Is it going to be 8? Either way, if they win 7 or 8 games and Justin Fields shows like legit improvement as a passer, this is going to be a very positive step. And then hopefully you make the right additions going into next season and you feel like, okay, now we can contend for a playoff spot.
Well, there's a world of difference. Well, there's a world of difference between 7 and 8 wins. In a league filled with parity, 8, depending on the year, 8 could sneak into the number 2 wild card spot, depending on how the year shakes out. 8 could. 8 could. You need 9. 9's a magic number.
Yeah, you win 9, you're a playoff team. I think if this team wins 9, Matt Eberflus could be the NFL Coach of the Year. If they win 9 or 10 games, that's the ceiling to me. Looking at the schedule,
I mean, if you look at the schedule,
I don't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's the ceiling.
All right, before you go, we're going to be doing this every Monday, but I wanted to tell you, I spent some quality time with Terry Bradshaw Saturday night at the Goombay Bash, raised $880,000. He had a great ad-lib speech, as only Terry Bradshaw could do. But he retold a couple of stories, one of which was that Tom Landry invented the shotgun because Roger Staubach didn't like his center. And he needed them to play together, and Staubach didn't want to touch the guy's behind. So that's largely unverifiable. However, this is verifiable, and old Bear fans will know this. There was a coin flip in 1970 to determine who got the first draft choice, Bears or the Steelers. The Rooney family won the coin flip. They picked Terry Bradshaw.
Right.
Wow.
And the Bears' no quarterback stretch continued. All due respect to Bobby Douglas and whoever else came along in that time frame. But that's how close you came to getting Terry Bradshaw. And 5 years later, in another coin flip, it went the right way, and you got Walter Payton.
Wow.
Cochran, who did they get with the second pick instead of Bradshaw?
I don't remember. I was 10. Do you know the answer?
Yeah, I mean, it does. You know what? The answer probably is it doesn't matter. It's not Terry Bradshaw.
That's it. No, it's absolutely it. And that's my other concern. We don't have time to address it, but Justin Fields running around, running into traffic. And I mean literally on the Eisenhower running into traffic.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. You could, if you stopped 100 people on Michigan Avenue today and said, name the Bears' backup quarterback, 2 would know who it was, and one of those 2 would be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the backup quarterback's the guy you don't know until your starting quarterback gets hurt.
That's right.
And the best situation is you never find out who the backup quarterback is.
Okay. Well, listen.
By the way, it's P.J. Walker.
Okay.
Oh,
well, remember that. I'm going to write it down.
I thought P.J. Walker was a bard on the street here.
I thought P.J. Walker was a cocktail.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure it all out.
The above.
Yeah. All right, listen, Mike Berman, you're great. We love having you on, and thank you for doing this.
Love being with you guys. Looking forward to a great season, and here we go. Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold so you can get another ego stroke here and listen to this.
Hit the showers, Bears fans. Berman on the Bears brings you the hits every Monday. Brought to you by the Berman Auto Group, right here on the Big 89 WLS.